Yo, what's going on, guys? In this build, I'm going to be covering my Spencer infection build. I mean, there's a few variations you can do to this. You see there the equipment. Just pause the video if you want to see things better. I'm using two viral, I think it's viral canister is the name, which increases the infection. I'm using level 3, level 2, and the rest is really just for using the guns there that I have on my deck, which is the speed at which the guns, they're set up so you can shoot them, and the EIS cooldown so I can get more energy faster from using the devices like turning off lights and closing doors, locking doors. So that's the idea of the build, and you see there I have the infection, the syringe as well. The liquor I think is really the strongest part of this build because the liquor infected he just spreads that infection like crazy because he's hitting them constantly. He's like very close to them all the time. So I'm gonna have two matches in this video because they were kind of quick, and I think just one match alone wouldn't be enough to, kind of show the main idea of the build. You could also change things here, like you could not use the guns, for example, or the speed that they set up. You could use more infection there. You could use a virus. You could use more EIS cooldown, so you can get more energy faster. It's just like it's kind of you can still mess around with the build there. The main key here is really just those two viral canisters and to increase the infection and more, even if you want even more viral canisters, you can even use like full infection build, which is like all the four equipments for infection increase. But I mean that's up to you. Like I just feel like this is what works best because with the ES cooldown you can have the energy to keep up the creatures, to their speed. Without it, maybe you won't be able to as easy. So and the main idea here is that the speed of the activation of the guns, the cameras, I can use the air cannon there to shoot, not only just throw them at the zombies, but also shoot them as they're getting up, because it loads and reloads so quickly, the setup of the guns. So that's the main idea there, and also because I'm using the immobilizing rounds, and if you're using that combining with the gun and the AC right there as well is a very good example of how fast it set up the gun. I can easily kill him before he leaves any sort of animation. I also have the clone there as well, so I can clone if I want a very key creature like the liquor there, for example. I can clone two of them, put them two of them in a row, or if I want a jester, I can play more strategically with that. If I miss an immobilizing round, for example, and I have a clone, I can just throw another one right away. And like I said, because of the ice cooldown, usually I always have the energy to keep up with this kind of usage of cards. So here you can see they're kind of spreading up a bit, and with these two perks that I'm using, the viral canister, I think it takes like 4 or 3 swings of an infectious zombie for them to get infected, which is kind of okay. It's not super good like Alex level, but it's still not so bad like basic level. So it's very decent. You definitely notice they'll get infected, as you see right there. They're all infected already from interacting with the zombies, which is the idea of this build. You want them to be like coughing and not just wasting time, but also they kind of stand still when they're coughing. So you can also use their guns to shoot them while they're coughing and they can't move around too much to dodge. Um, like the liquor is also a very key idea because the liquors always stun them when they hit them. So that's also an opportunity that you have to shoot them with your guns. They're just standing still because you have that fast setup of the gun. We have the equipment to speed up the setting up of the gun. That also helps with any kind of stun you can get away some shots in because of that single perk alone. So that's the main idea behind that perk is to get the guns to shoot them when they're stunned or coughing, whatever. And you see just like that, like the liquors did most of the work here, as well as the other zombies. And right there, she lost. So yeah, those are quick matches. Is how usually it should go because there's so much to deal with. Like they have liquors all around it because you have the ace cooldown to keep up the energy. They always have like creatures and things jumping at them, and they also have to worry about the guns shooting them at the same time. Getting immobilized and whatnot. You can also control the creatures yourself and hit them to make the infection spread even easier. You can bite them, all that kind of stuff. So it's just like so much. They're constantly coughing. The time is ticking away. Like they're constantly losing health because of the coughing. They're getting hit and everything. It's just like so much to deal with. Usually they can get overwhelmed. Now, obviously, I wouldn't say this build is maybe like the best out of all of them, but it's definitely up there because it's very hard to deal with. But with any build that relies on creatures of any kind, Actually, any build. I think even guns to an extent. Like if the survivors rush too much, or they just have a Sam or a Becca that just kills creatures in like 2 seconds. It can be hard to keep up. Or not just that, but if they have like flashbangs, grenades, molotovs that just kill things instantly, or they can stun the creatures with the flash, for example, and just ignore them. Like go in the room, get the objective, and get out. And pretty much all that spam that you did, and you set up that room is just for nothing. That kind of situation can kind of screw up these kind of builds where it's heavy like spam based or creature based. But it's still very hard to win against this. If you're not in area 3, you can imagine you have the hypercharge, so the creature's all gonna cost 1, and you're constantly spamming infected stuff on top of them as they're trying to destroy the core. So the coughing just gonna get even worse. So it's still pretty hard, but I would just say like I would say it's definitely there's a way. Like if they start spamming items and everything, I would say you can, yeah, definitely build, possibly depending on the map as well, because depending on the map things can be quite different. But you can definitely, 1 in 100 maybe beat this build or something like that. I just want to say essentially it's not necessarily unbeatable. I've lost I think 1 match with this build like ever. So, and it was on the map downtown, which is like one of the most broken maps for Survivor. So it's fine, and it was against a good team. So, but the build itself is like super good. It's like you're not gonna lose that much. So you see right here, they just got my kill there with the weapon. That's how you see I talk about the equipment that speeds up the setting up. You see that Jill was kind of dumb trying to revive him in front of me. You see I have the air cannon. I'm trying to aim at her so she will get pushed towards the zombie, but I guess there's some lag involved, so they kind of teleport somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe they're not where I see them, so the shot doesn't really work the way it should in my screen. You see right there as well, combining the immobilizing round with me controlling the zombie. You can do that for a gun as well. You can immobilize him and then use the gun right away. Like this Sam is like surely infection 3 by now, so that's really bad for him. Though even though he heals, he's gonna be coughing constantly. The lickers are gonna be following him and trying to hit him, so it's really tough to deal with. It's a lot to deal with for the survivors. Right there, I'm trying to infect the lickers because they are like the main priority. They're the ones that really spread the infection more so than the other creatures. Right here, closing the doors. I see they have the 3 keys already, so I'm already setting up for their exit. Not so much setting up on top of them. I want to set this door because they're gonna have to go through here to get the keys there. So right here, I see the Sam. I'm gonna try to buy him. There you go. You see Becca is also trying to go out, and the animation of the zombie just kind of locked her inside there. She can't open the door before the zombie finishes the animation. But yeah, because she has the key, if I could down her, like they cannot leave the map, so that's a crucial play here. And there she, I think did she leave? I can't tell yet. So I'm getting more energy during all of this. No, she's still there. So yeah, I can spawn even more lickers. Now I have the clone, so I can do another licker on top of that. And it's just there's no way she's going out. Like I can still control the creatures and everything, and make sure she doesn't get out. And now like there's nothing they can do now. They have to come to heal her, or they die, and they can't leave the room. And even if they come, like there's so many creatures that are waiting for them, infection waiting and everything. So it's just too tough. And like I said, there's the gun as well, so you can shoot them while everything's happening. They're distracted. That's why I don't use a shield on this build, because they're usually so distracted by the creatures. You don't really need a shield to protect the camera when you're using your guns and all. You see, there's so much there they can't deal with this. It's just too overwhelming. Right there, she was stunned, so I control the creature and I can still get a bite on her. It's just like this build is just like way too much to deal with. Just like what's why I make it so effective. But yeah, guys, that's the infection build I have for Spencer. Like I said, there's some variations. You could try using more infection than it already is. You could try using the virus, something. You could take the cooldown, use something else. I don't know. But the main key here is really the infection, and I guess the deck itself. Those specific creatures are for a reason. The Jester is so he can scream, and I can shoot him with the gun while they're stunned by the Jester scream. That's also why the Jester is there specifically. I can also just control him and get a bite for free as well. So yeah, guys, that's the video, and see you guys in the next one.